Hey, how's it going? It's Mish, or Mick, whatever you want to call me. And today I'm going to talk to you about patience, or the lack of it. I never saw myself as a patient person. It's just who I was. I get bored, I don't like to wait, and for me patience meant waiting for things. What I realized was when I was being impatient, I was just harnessing my energy on this one thing and just waiting for it to happen. And I'd get frustrated and stressed out and I'd lose my mind over it. And I start to realize, am I really that impatient or am I just bored? So I wrote a blog about it this morning, and I ended up talking about a garden. And it's a pretty good analogy, I think. And essentially it's the analogy of, I had this plant or this seed, and I was watering it, and I planted it, and I watered it, and I'd watch it, and I wanted to watch it grow, and it wasn't growing, and I was losing it and freaking out, saying, I put all this time and energy into this seed, and it's not growing. Then I zoom out, and it's only been 4 hours, right? So it's ridiculous, but at the same time, it represents a lot of what my impatience is really about, is trying to make things happen or watching them happen unnaturally quickly. And instead of focusing on this huge garden with all this rich soil that's available to me, I focused on this one plant, never saw the garden. And it's like, all right, so I plant one seed, and why don't I plant another? And another? And another, and start to plant a whole garden, with different kinds of plants and flowers and vegetation or whatever it may be. And essentially spreading my time and efforts across multiple plants and a garden rather than just one plant. And what ends up happening is I'm less focused on that one plant that was causing me so much pain and frustration in my life, because when there was only one plant, if it wasn't performing, I was stressed out, and I'd be short, and I'd get mad at people around me, and I'd be frustrated, and I'd just be in a miserable, terrible place. But once I start to plant the garden and see that slowly, every single day, things are growing, and I focus a little time one day on this one, and then that one, and that one, and as a whole, every week, every month, every year, there's this beautiful garden growing, not just the one that I'm drowning and overwatering. So essentially, I really think if we're impatient, we just have a lot of energy. I don't think we're impatient, we're just not channeling the energy properly. At least I wasn't. So in my life, I've chosen different things, whether it was my main job, wasn't getting everything I needed out of it, so I needed to do other things. So I started making music, I started doing my blog, started working with different companies, started doing all kinds of things like that. And as that happens, I'm more satisfied with the slower progression per se, but everything is growing really nicely. Slower than just one thing exploding, but planting all these seeds and watering them and tending to them and learning from their growth patterns has allowed me to realize that I'm not really impatient, I just need to be doing more things. So essentially that's what I'm talking about here. It's maybe my confusion with impatience is just not doing enough. I could probably be doing more. And am I a perfectly patient person now? Absolutely not. The whole reason I wrote this blog is to try to get through or get into why I'm currently feeling that frustration again. It's not something that I maintain. I kind of go off grid sometimes, and when I do that, I need to recalibrate. If I look in the mirror and ask myself honestly, hey dude, you being an asshole lately? Then chances are I need to adjust somewhere. So I'm not saying that I have cured impatience. I'm just saying that spreading my energy around has allowed me to just be less stressed out, because I'm not worried about one thing. If that one thing fails, wow, it's all over. But if I have a whole garden and I'm learning about this one and I can apply it to this one and that one to that one, I can appreciate them all for what they are and what they taught me, and it's a thing that is progressively moving forward. And I'm not watching paint dry anymore. And so that's where I am. That's what this is about. And in the wise words of Joe Dirt, life's a garden. Dig it. Later.